Hello, folks, and welcome back to Star Metal Productions. I hope everything is working because we were attacked by a horde of gremlins tonight. But presuming you can hear us, you can see us, and the stream stays up and functional. Discord is apparently having some problems, so if we just kind of shut off, I apologize. We'll get back to it when we can, but hopefully everything will stick together. We have already been off the air for a month now, and it's been a month. I think all of us have had quite a month. So I am happy to get back to this fun story with these two lovely people. That being said, I'm going to try to ease back into the game because it's been a while, and this might be a slightly longer intro than usual because I want to make sure we are properly recapped and back in the headspace of what we are doing. So, for anybody who is just tuning in, or you need the refresher, I need the refresher, players may need the refresher, we are playing Substratum Protocol by Pandion Games. Go check them out, lovely folks. They've made a very, very fun game, and a lot of really good art in it too, by my friend Galen Peugeot, who has done art on a lot of other TTRPG books and whatnot, and has done art for not this channel, but my original channel. So go check them out. Anyway, Substratum Protocol. We are, or I should say, our two intrepid scientists here are descending into the very core of the Earth because some crazy seismic activity is threatening to crack the Earth open like an egg. Not exactly sure what is going on and why that is happening, or more importantly, how to fix it. The Substratum Protocol was activated, and these two, best of the best, that the scientific community could send down, have spent the last probably close to a year or so trekking down through winding tunnels and underground seas and all kinds of crazy creatures, people, inhabitants, and whatnot. So you can go and check out the first few episodes of the series if you would like to, well, if you don't know what we're talking about, go start at the beginning. But for now, quick recap of what they've been up to recently. So, throughout their trek down into the core, they have found the ruins of an ancient civilization. They have crossed a superheated sea. They have had conversations with some sort of crystalline collective consciousness creature. May or may not be artificial, not sure. But it was probably the first contact that these two scientists had with some sort of directing intelligence down here. Continuing onward, there was the superheated lake that tried to eat them and their boat. They moved through the caustic pools, a sort of runoff zone for some kind of crazy high-tech planetary scale battery of some sort that seemed to have something to do with the magnetic fields around the Earth. And just recently, in the last episode, they made their way to the gravity inversion zone, which was basically the main productive infrastructure of whatever ancient alien race, according to them, created this planet, and the beings that now inhabit it have directed life on Earth to some degree over presumably millions of years. So, some nuances to remind ourselves of and the audience. Yes, Dr. Sampson Daring, played by the eye here, is slowly going insane, having pushed to the bounds of stress a number of times, and in doing so has mutated to look fairly similar to a preserved creature found at the uppermost level.
Yeah.
And in fact, the aliens that assisted you last episode in the gravity inversion zone, the one you were talking to, in fact, did mistake Dr. Sampson Daring for what he called an architect. During that conversation, a lot more information was revealed about what goes on here, though he was fairly closed-lipped, not wanting to overtly direct, well, their experiment, I think, is what he referred to everything happening on the planet.
Yep.
Some version of the prime directive, if you were. But he also said that the planet is suffering some sort of breakdown. The machinery, as far as you are aware, or as far as you were told, is mostly working as it should. Things break down here and there and they need repairs. But I believe this alien, who I think was merely referred to as a custodian, I believe, pointed out that a sort of psychosphere, for lack of a better term, was one of the main causes to the destabilizing of the Earth, and that these two scientists here, perhaps Dr. Daring, more so than Dr. Undermoon, are in a unique position, knowing both what has been happening up on the surface in the modern day. They are, of course, human. They have lived their own lives in their own very specific ways, and also, more importantly, have traveled down through the mysteries and wonders and confusion that have taken them to this point. And I believe it was Dr. Sampson Daring who volunteered to take even more of that information on. A flood of memories and data and feeling, sort of bending his mind in the right way to act as some sort of key or cipher or repair bit. And that is more or less where we left off. Having concluded their conversation with the custodian and having passed along, been given some new information. Let me actually pull up my notes here. The custodian manipulated gravity, as he seemed capable, or I should say they seemed capable of doing, and flung our two intrepid scientists out into the distance, presumably to the next leg of our trek. So, let's pick up now with today's episode of At Its Core. And we're going to start out as, let's see. There we go, so we need this. We're going to start out as we have been doing. We are going to need both a travel roll and a understanding portal clue knowledge roll.
Ooh. Well, I think, and this is just me, thinking, I think it should be you Dr. Daring, because you are the chosen one, and I am just a mere mortal who is average in every way possible.
So sad. I don't know. I don't know if you want what I have at this point, but
oh, okay. Is it that bad?
I mean, do you want to just have one eye and elongated limbs with a skull coming out of the back of like a kind of banana like in Aliens? Like, is that what you want out of all this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, if that's what you want, I suppose. All right. So I am at a negative what right now? 1 or 2?
Let's see. Let's check out your stress. You are on 6 out of 8, I believe. You're at 6. Yeah, you're at 6 stress. Yep. Let me pull up another instance of the rule book here, so I can make sure we are all on the same page. And dusting off the streamer know-how here. All right, let's see. We need, this is page 40, is it? Let's see. You are at a -2.
Okay. And what am I rolling?
So this is, you are rolling to understand the portal clue. That being
think, which is think and one of my choice.
Yes.
Too bad I'm not completely mad still and just say I understand.
Yep.
Is the alien still with us or not?
Yes.
Then can I use sway?
Yeah, to sort of ask clarifying questions of all this knowledge that was just sort of downloaded into you.
Yeah.
I'll allow that. I'll allow that.
Nice.
That gives me a D10 and a D4.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you got this then.
Well, there better be some wood for you to knock on real quick there, Tal, because we all know how this goes for me. And now I can blame you if this goes wrong.
Okay.
You've only got 2 cards as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not much you can do with those.
This is going to be interesting.
So, let's see what we got here. And actually, let me remind myself exactly what we need to do here. Not solo stuff, not field notes. And just up here, I believe it is. Well, we don't need that joker. That can go.
Nope.
Nice. 4 of clubs.
Al,
It's easy to
Tal,
work
shut
with.
up. Tal,
And
shut up.
5 of hearts.
Okay.
Those are fairly reasonable goals.
Yeah.
I beseech the void. I beseech all that is dark to not give me 2 2s or 2 3s. No, it wouldn't be fine. I need at least a 7 out of these.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
I got an 8.
Okay, there you go. That'll do. Yeah, even with the -2, that is still a 6. You get the 4 and the 5, and that is a full success on this study check. So you do learn something useful about this portal clue. And the best thing about that is you get to decide what that is based on a question. So, like we've done before, I need a D6 from you and a D6 from me. And which?
10s.
10s. All right.
1. 13.
A 13. Okay. This is actually something I think has already come up in the narrative. It's not a question we've had before. It's kind of come up in the narrative. So let's roll again there.
Okay. 2. 21.
12. Oh, yeah. Switch that. 21. Cool. Okay. I think we had this question before.
Damn it.
Yeah, we've had this question before. All right. Third time's the charm.
3. I went 1, 2, 3.
32. All right. I think this is a good question for you. Okay, the eye. You get to determine the canon answer to this based on all of this knowledge, technical knowledge, that you kind of barely have a grasp on. And I've been able to poke and prod at and try to get some clarification out of this custodian, who is, for the moment, at least, traveling with you to the edge of this inversion zone. So do tell me, are there any rituals or sacrifices required to operate the portal? And what those would be?
I'm very tempted to go against character and say no.
That could be valid, yeah.
Rituals or sacrifice. What do we know so far?
So far, the first portal clue, the alien inside the big crystal ball, sort of psychically, emotionally, empathically instilled in both of you a sort of understanding, a warning of war, strife, disagreement.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, what was the next clue? I don't remember exactly.
So I've got ties where architecture meets language, and there's an underlying connection.
Yes.
No, there is an intelligence to this, but that brought different cultures together or split them apart.
I believe the word used specifically was enlighteners. Then more recently, you found evidence of DNA, not in a double helix pattern, but in the Triskelion form that Dr. Sampson Daring had seen in visions in the past. And the portal seems to be mutating the biosphere of Earth away from double helix and into Triskelion DNA. And just previously, in the gigantic battery section, you pulled a much smaller version of that crystal ball you found, but inside that was not a tiny alien, but instead a tiny sun.
Mm.
And yes, and that seemed to examining that and cross-referencing the data you were able to decipher from the technical knowledge written on the walls and various areas of that gigantic battery magnetic coil thing, seemed to indicate that the portal at the center of the Earth is structural in some way. It is a sort of foundation, has other purposes and functionality, but it is sort of the anchor for the world. So I think those are the other portal clues as to other things you have learned on the way. That's a lot more recap.
Re-ask the question one more time.
Are there any rituals or sacrifices required to operate the portal? And I'm adding, what, if there are any, would they be?
I have an idea. I'm just trying to put it into words. You mortal minds would understand. I'm thinking something along the lines of, in order to operate a machine of this magnitude and this intricate, one must undergo a process that has been ritualized, that basically removes what they would deem as bias and what we would deem as empathy.
Okay. Interesting. I, okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that will mostly fit. Yeah. Okay. I like how you put that. How they, the architect, the custodians, would view as bias, and what you may view as empathy. I think empathy is an interesting word, especially
Mm-hmm.
if this process is to remove such. Uh, it doesn't need to be changed, but if this would change your response, you do know that one of the major causes of this problem, with the bare minimum knowledge the custodian gave you, was that the sort of collective human psychosphere or Earth psychosphere is malfunctioning. The level of distrust and hatred and corruption and war is catalyzing the problems that are causing the world to physically rip apart.
So here's the caveat of what I would add then. This surgery would remove one from that psychosphere,
Okay.
which, yes, there's a lot of stuff that is negative to it that is associated, but there's some things that are also human, like empathy, that would be removed at the same time.
Okay. So in order to operate the portal, you have to lose your
You can't be part of the psychosphere that is.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, we can work with that. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. What how would this new understanding of what will need to be done, especially presuming it's likely going to be you who needs to do it, how does that affect Dr. Daring?
I think at this point, if it was a few months ago, he'd probably get some stress from this. I think at this point, he's just like, yep, that's right. I think he's too far gone. I really do. I think at this point, that knowledge is just something he has come to understand and accept. I do not think Daring is at all human anymore.
Oh, certainly not.
No.
Nope.
Okay. So, you spend really the better part of the rest of the day in the care of the custodian, who is bending gravity to allow you to fall with style to different points on this trip, moving through the architecture, the infrastructure of this sort of buffer zone, I think is how they put it. I do believe I have it right here. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. Basically, yeah, acting as a foundation and buffer zone for the much more dangerous and paracausal nature of what is below, above at this. Everything is upside down at the moment. Anyway, you are eventually led to another airlock, similar to the one that allowed you to get into this sector of, well, the deep. This one, however, is not domed over with crystal. The door does not seem to be damaged. It seems to be fully functional, or fully intact at the very least, I should say. You do, however, see that there are quite a number of warning stickers placed on and around the door. With the help of Dr. Daring's sort of universal translator and all of the back and forth we've had already, some of these warning signs you simply don't have the vocabulary for. But you recognize...
How does one easily describe vivisection in a sticker?
Nope.
But you can... Your best educated guess as to what warnings are here indicates that...
I am listening. I've just got something to talk about.
Yep. That below here, there is a lot more, let's say... Well, it refers to a number of different types of dangerous radiation moving forward. You get one of those authorized personnel stickers on there, and actually below that, it says something along the lines of physiology must be your physiology must be changed in a way to protect you from what is below.
Hey, Tal, remember you were saying you really wanted this stuff? It might be getting there, bud.
That was another little nuance fact you picked up from the custodian and the others of this species you've seen. They all, or many of them, look similar, but not the same. And they seem to have the ability to mold their own form. Some have 2 arms, some have 4 arms, some have many more than that. 2-eyed versions, 1-eyed versions, 3-eyed versions, all different kinds of shapes and colors and patterns and different appendages and whatnot.
With that, so these things look very different from one another. Is there like a common denominator between them that, or are would it be hard for someone like Dr. Daring or Dr. Undermoon to even see that these things are of the same species?
Yes, there is enough similarity to them that they do appear to be the same species. They have the same overall skull shape, aside from number of eye sockets. They do all have those same sort of elongated limbs, though some simply have more or less than others. They share baseline similarities with each other. Without doing a sort of DNA analysis, you're not exactly sure how different these physical changes would make them from each other, but they're probably the same species. It's a little like, you know you know a dog is a dog, even though one's a greyhound and one's a Shih Tzu.
Right.
So, is there any indication on these kind of like warnings and stickers? Is there any indication as to what specific differences need to be in place for you to be safe? Or is it just a general warning of, hey, if you're human, don't bother coming through here?
Well, it looks like the greatest, most immediate danger would be excess radiation. I should say excessive radiation. Yeah, there's a number of different types of radiation listed. Some of them you are familiar with, the basic radioactive decay, alpha particles, beta, gamma. But some of them are referring to some sort of radiation with a proper noun that you just don't know. There is also a reminder that you are currently within a gravity inversion zone, and the next area is not. So you will be coming out on the ceiling.
Yep, lovely. Okay. Right. So, what's the best way to deal with this?
Well, the door can simply be open. You have your custodian pal, right there. And
That's true.
And in fact, as you land on the platform, because you did have to fall upwards, which is coreward, onto a landing with the door above you. So you'll have to climb up and then fall.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, that's not too bad because I'm not worried about that. Because as we already said, I built a parachute into our suits.
Yes.
So falling, I'm not overly worried about that. It's the radiation which is going to cause me concerns. I have got an idea, but I'm really scared about the repercussions of it.
Well, you would know that your suit does offer some sort of protection from radiation. Depends on the type of radiation, the strength, the exposure.
Right. Okay. So here's my thought process. What I would like to do is take take a sample of blood from my good colleague and see if I could synthesize a kind of I guess injection's the wrong word, but synthesize whatever would protect from the radiation, because I'm thinking it's going to be in the blood. I'm thinking there'll be something in the blood which would protect. And
well, to start, like, I don't even know if my current physiological state is a protection. Do we know that for sure?
No.
Okay.
Well, do you want to go first? And then if you don't,
I mean, if there's an issue for you, why don't you just ask the custodian?
that's a. That's a good question. Do you want to ask the custodian just to?
No, you're the one with the issue with this. I don't have an issue with this.
Yes. Okay. I will. If the custodian's still with us, I will ask them what. So based on the differences, between myself and my good colleague here, what changes would I need to undergo in order to not die a horrible death from strange cosmic radiation?
Do correct me if our data is incomplete or out of date, but I don't recall that humans, as you call yourself, have developed to the point where you can purposely affect your own physiology.
Well, no, I mean this is indeed true. I was thinking of maybe, depending on the specifics, maybe synthesizing something from my friend here to create either a cooling system which I could use to ward off the radiation, or maybe inject into myself to give me some form of protection. I'd rather not do that if possible, but if it's the only way forward.
That would certainly be an interesting series of experiments. Should you
Does
choose
my
to-
current physiological form actually protect me from the radiation that would exist on the other side of this door?
Sort of leans down, this figure once again standing probably a good foot and a half taller than the two of you, leans in, sort of does that, and it's probably even more, you get even more of this sense because you have this dome on your suit, is looking at you in the same way as somebody might look at a very interesting fish in an aquarium. Leans in and studies.
Oh, I hate it. Hate it so much.
Honestly, I could not say. You are, to my knowledge, the first of your kind.
Wonderful.
Well, in that case, and forgive me if this is either rude or in any way transgressional, but what if I was to synthesize something from your DNA? I'm assuming you will be safe traveling further down. Would you hold on? How would you feel about letting me take a sample and trying to create something to protect myself with?
No.
Okay, yes, that's fair. I assumed that you would probably say that.
I commend you on your caution. I should. There are things I may say and things I may not say. Things that you may understand and things you may very well not understand. Beyond this point, you will be traveling into an area that is not bound by the same anchoring physics as the world you know. In fact, this entire place is a barrier between that which was needed, that which came first, and that which you are from. You may face various radiation problems. You may face various entropic cascades in one or more directions. I will admit it has been quite some time since anyone, including, well, myself and other custodians, have ventured beyond this point. once the foundation was complete and this barrier erected, that which is below has been able to maintain itself until recently. Now, I do believe beyond this bulkhead and a short trek through various maintenance areas and corridors, you should find your way to I suppose you could call it a sort of radioactive grove, a jungle of sorts. The native flora and, to an extent, limited fauna in the area is able to absorb and filter radiation. Some will be sources of higher concentration, whereas some will create zones of safer, less concentrated particles. Beyond that, I will warn you. I don't believe this violates any of our parameters. There are others, not of my kind, not custodians. There are others native to that which was before, and still is within here. There are those that you may interact with, and there are those who you may not.
I suppose what I can ask is there a way to test our suits to see if they can withstand the radiation? Is there some sort of containment cell that you have that we can bombard it with the radiation on the other side of this gate, see if it will protect us to begin with? And or run experiments on what could possibly offer us such protections.
You specifically spent some time trying to gauge the sort of physical reactions of this being last episode. So they do stand up, cross a pair of their arms, and just sort of look up out into the distance with a very pensive sort of for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
It has been some time since we've conducted any sort of first-hand observations or experimentations on your people. I'm sure there are many of us who would very much relish the opportunity to put the both of you through many, many tests.
There's going to be two very different reactions to that statement. So I'm going to wait till...
No, thank you.
Well, my dear doctor, unfortunately, we are at a predicament of which, unless you have a better option, I do believe this is the only option we have. If we, or myself, I mean, I am totally willing to go through with these experiments for the betterment of, and perhaps survival of, and there's almost an hour species, and then he stops, thinks for a moment, and says, the human species, to survive, I am willing to undergo such experimentation if you are not, but even with the outcome of these experiments, you will, if they do come out to be of credence, would have to go through the results.
I will stop this line of thought here. I do not believe you have time, nor I the appropriate permissions to indulge my curiosity.
Sad.
Such tests and such implementation of data received would take a great deal of time to be done properly. And we do things properly. I do believe that suit you both wear should provide protection against the majority of dangers below. I assume you have some way of detecting radioactive concentrations. I would simply avoid areas of high concentration and limit your exposure to the more robust flora.
Okay, I mean that seems to make sense. This is going to be tricky. Guess we'll just have to go cautiously and continuously probe and try to find a safe route through this fungal jungle, as it were.
Good rhyming.
Thanks.
And an interesting choice of words. I dare say there is no safe route beyond this point. But you would do wise to minimize your exposure to the various dangers you will come across. Regardless, we do not have sufficient data or the materials and tools required to genetically modify you or materially modify your suits without, as I said, much more extensive observations, tests, plans, productions. You both have made it this far, more or less intact. You can continue that resourcefulness and constitution. You very well may succeed, at least in getting to the core.
At this point, Dr.
Much choice.
Yeah, Dr. Daring is just watching Dr. Undermoon at this point.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Well, after you, my dear doctor, I guess you potentially have more protection than I. Maybe.
Very well. Then Dr. Daring will go to the door, I guess.
All right. The custodian does refer to one of his devices sort of built into his own attire and you both get a download of a small map and a route. As he mentioned, this doorway here does not open directly into this particle grove, but you will need to sort of navigate your way through Jeffrey's tubes, for lack of maintenance tunnels, paths. The custodian will he wouldn't bow. He would actually sort of straighten. I do believe I have given the thing I will give you in the time that we have allotted. It has been quite interesting meeting one of your species face to face, as it were. Quite
Perhaps when this, so maybe not immediately, but soon after this calamity has been abated, some contact might be in order.
Perhaps. That would, if done properly, require more time. But it does seem, should the two of you, or at least one of you, survive what is to come, then I suppose our secret is out. It would certainly be interesting to see how your people react to the truth.
I mean, I think you'll find that actually, as a species, we have struggled with the difficulty of the truth before and always managed to come through it. I have high hopes that we will again, with scientific minds like mine and my colleagues here leading the way.
There's a slight uncomfortable shift from Dr. Daring at that.
Wait. Your people do have a very interesting relationship with the truth. But I have said all I will say, aside from remain cautious, diligent, and curious. We will be watching. And good luck, if you indeed still hold to such principles. It would be rather a shame if this project were to catastrophically fail.
Shame and catastrophic fail. Brilliant.
And then he simply steps off the platform, falls a little bit, and then falls in a different direction as manipulated, taking him away. You can open the door. It does lead into a series of small maintenance tunnels, and you're probably going to be crawling on hands through this small labyrinthine engineering section. And this is a good time for our travel roll, as once again, the arch enemy of progress, the door, has once again cost us quite some time.
Yep.
Okay, so who is leading the way here?
I guess I'd better really, hadn't I?
Travel is what is the required roll? Dash?
Yes.
I mean, I have a D8 and dash right now,
Oh, okay. Well, I
but
mean,
I do have. I
did,
still do have that -2. So
I mean, I did say that you were going. That you should go first to buffer any radiation that might come up.
the problem is, I mean, I can probably word that. If I do a dash and evade, that's a D8 and a D6, and evading any radiation pockets, I suppose. I mean, if that's the, but that again, so that's a D8 and a D6 and a -2. What's the best you got?
Mine would be the same. But I'm on a.
You don't have the -2. You have a -1.
One at the moment. Yeah. So
Up to you, Tal. You want me to do it, or you want to do it?
I suppose I've got more cards. Yeah, I'll do it.
All right. Dr. Undermoon leading the way. You have a
Here we go.
King of Clubs.
Yep.
And an Ace of Clubs.
Okay.
To hit. So one of those is guaranteed. You can't roll less than a 1. Yeah. And a king is 13. This is a big card to hit.
Okay, so D8 and D6 gives me 14. So I've got to roll.
-1.
Yeah.
You have to roll perfect.
I have to roll perfect.
Unless you do any sort of card manipulation. So there's the boost action. You can sacrifice 2 same-suited cards for +1.
Yeah, that's not a lot, though, is it?
No, depending on how many same suits you can drop.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's a flashback for advantage or disadvantage, but I'm not really certain that makes sense for a travel roll.
No, I think
And
I
it's
just
not
have to
gonna-
roll it, aren't I?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's roll the D6. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
well, you can take that ace. That's a freebie.
woo-hoo.
King is discarded down over here. So this is a partial success with complication.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a difficult trek. It's not terribly confounding. It's not terribly, inherently dangerous. It's just traveling a long distance on your hands and knees, having to manually open hatches, having to deal with strange gravity discrepancies.
Yeah.
Both of you can clear 1 stress.
Ooh.
Tal, since you were leading this, how about you tell me what sort of complication arises as you are traveling through? You're probably spending a good week or so, like multiple days on your hands and knees crawling through the bowels of a gigantic machine.
Yeah, Normie, tell us how you fucked up.
I think that, yeah, so I would say that the biggest difficulty is trying to get any kind of decent rest. So because of how tight it is, you can't kind of like get comfortable to go to sleep. You can't really sit up and eat a proper meal.
There's a lot of noise.
Yeah, so I would say it is the constant lack of sleep or anything resembling a proper rest would be the biggest issue we'd probably be facing.
All right. Yes. So moving forward, you're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. At least until you can manage to get a couple decent meals and some good sleep in.
Yeah.
But after probably, again, it is difficult to really get a grasp on the scale and travel of time down here in the depths. It's been months and months and months since you've seen the sun, since you've seen the sky, since you've seen another human being or even a plant or animal you vaguely recognize. But you make your way to the end of the route that was provided for you, and there is another bulkhead door like you saw before, much the same warnings within. You can open that up. It is on the ceiling for you. You have to crank that open it up, and then you do realize, looking up through the door, you are actually looking down, coreward, in the next sector. Though what you can see is a vibrantly lush jungle. There are huge trees, almost redwood size, huge trees, massive sprawling branches, vines intertangling, branches intertangling with other trees. And we're talking mega flora here. Everything seems quite big. Gigantic ferns at ground level of various pinks and reds and greens and yellows and all kinds of flowers. You see something like that looks vaguely like one of those giant vile plume mushrooms.
Ooh, yeah.
There's grasses and underbrush and bushes and thickets and all kinds of very large, very alien looking, some slightly bioluminescent, and all kinds of colors in this, well, presumably highly radioactive jungle zone.
I mean, well, I think we're going to have to parachute down there by the looks of things.
I will say, given the density of the trees and other foliage, it's doable, but it is dangerous.
Unless, of course, you can think of another way for us to get down there, my friend.
So just for a picture in my brain, we're standing on a cliff with a bunch of, like, overlooking a jungle, basically.
No, you're still in one of those Jeffries tubes, so you're crouched down on your hands and knees, and there is a latch on your ceiling that you...
Oh, so I'm looking up at the top of a canopy. Gotcha.
Yeah. And, as soon as you move past the threshold of that door on your ceiling, that will be the ceiling, and you will fall to the ground.
I can only think of the parachute itself unless we rappel down. Is there something that we can attach a grappling hook to that looks stable? Like, can we put a grappling hook to the edge of the Jeffries tube? Is it completely saw us flat, or is there like a lip that we can attach something to?
No, you could take off some of the panels around you, like the Jeffries tubes of Star Trek that I am using as reference. All of those panels come off, and there's all kinds of machinery going on, in the walls. You can start pulling panels off until you find something that looks like you could hook a pit into.
We can either jump and parachute or rappel. How far down does it look?
How How tall are redwoods?
Oh, Jesus.
Been there, seen them.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
big.
mean, it's probably a good 300, 350 feet. More than that, even, because the canopy doesn't even come all the way up to the ceiling. So you're probably looking 400, 450 feet.
So rappel down, which I think we've had rope in the past that
Yeah.
was longer than
We
that. So it's not,
have,
that's
yeah.
not, yeah.
So
And here's the other thing. Rappelling down, you can stop and go back up again if there's a problem. Parachute, you just jump,
True.
and if there's something down there we don't want to have anything to do with, we're going to have to deal with it anyway. So I suggest we do option A, which is rip up a panel or two, grapple against the open panel, rappel down, survey the scene.
Yep. Yeah. No. I agree.
Okay. Well, I think what makes most sense to me would be make and dash, because it is travel and also minor disassembly and finding something that looks structural enough to use as an anchor.
D4 and D8 with a -2 for me.
D4 and D8 with -1.
Go ahead of me. You have a better chance.
More cards, so yeah, okay. I suppose I'm probably in a more. You're probably thinking on more cerebral thoughts, and I'm probably thinking on more real world thoughts.
That's a word for it.
Yes. Okay. I would like to make that roll.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see how that goes. Should be fairly.
Okay.
Simple.
7.
7 and a king. That was
You
a
and
tough
these
card.
kings.
So I've got to get.
You and these kings. A 13.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I've got to hit exact again.
Yep.
Okay, let's. Oh no, I can't do it. I can't do it. The best I can get is the 7. Because it's D4 and D8, which is only 12. Well, let's try and get 7 then, at least. Okay.
Okay. That's 9 minus
8,
1.
so that's at least, yeah.
All right, you can take that 7. And before I narrate, let's see how Dr. Daring fares. With a queen, that's a 12, and an 8.
Oh, we both have to make this roll? Oh, okay.
You can do it.
Roll. So we said, what was it? Break and dash? Is that what we said?
Make and dash.
Oh, yeah. Make and dash.
You can do it.
Nope.
Nothing. 6 minus 2 for 4. All right.
I slide down too fast.
I see it as in your head, you're convinced that you've developed the similar powers to the custodian, and you can control gravity, and you just step out.
Be. Yeah, why wouldn't I be able to?
Well, actually, that is good pointing out there, Tal, because indeed, Dr. Daring
good point.
Can manipulate the forces of reality a little bit right now.
It's true. I I can make gravity not as bad of a thing.
Yeah. Okay. So you you take a panel off of one of these walls, get into one of those mechanisms, trying to avoid anything that looks like you could even possibly break it. You're basically just looking for a structural strut somewhere, and you are able to, fasten your grappling gear to that and begin your descent one by one. The difficulty is, of course, you are descending in the jungle above the canopy, so you will actually have to rappel down to the canopy, tie off there, and move through the thick intertwining branches and vines, uh, to get below the canopy level, and then tie off again and repel down from that tree. And you both manage to get to the top of the tree without any problem. But as been stated, you are both kind of just exhausted and sore and stressed and worn. Your knees and wrist hurts from crawling for a whole week. Your back hurts from lack of good sleep. You're tired and frustrated, and this has all been a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, Dr. Undermoon, you getting to push your way through these tangle of branches and vines and get to a place that looks sturdy enough for you to tie off here and begin repelling. And Dr. Daring, you following suit, you're still getting used to this new form of yourself. Your arms are a little longer than you remember being. Your head is also a little longer than you remember being, and you can kind of move in ways that you couldn't before, and also not move in ways that you could before. And perhaps you have gained muscle mass or bone density or something. You're not entirely sure, but you move through this thicket of branches, not nearly as deftly as Dr. Undermoon. And just as Dr. Undermoon, you are tying off to the top of this canopy, there is a snap as the branch you are on snaps away and falls. And you both go tumbling down through the remainder of this thicket and begin free falling. Now you are still attached to the line at the top, the door, Jeffrey's tubes, but you were expecting a much more stable tie off here on that branch, and you fall. And there is a bit of whiplash as the give in the rope that you are planning to have from tying it off in a new area, you fall, catch yourself, it catches abruptly, almost yanking your shoulder out of its socket. And then additionally, you are sliding down the end of that rope. Your metallic, or I should say, ceramic composite gauntlets that you are wearing as part of this suit begin scraping and fraying at the edge of the rope, and you don't plummet 300 feet, but you are moving faster than you would like, and have taken some damage from just how abrupt that is, and you sort of not slow fall, but sort of slide down this rope faster than you would like and crash down into the underbrush below, twisting your knee or whatnot. Both of you will take, you will take 1 point of stress.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Daring, unfortunately, that wasn't even a partial success. That was all fail.
No.
Huh.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh no.
Well,
Mm-hmm. Tell me how I mutate more.
no, I will remind myself and you both again. Actually, this would be a great time for you to change an aspect of the chosen element or force.
Yes.
You may be able to, in a split second of panic and newly found intuition, be able to manipulate gravity and
Yes.
slow that descent.
I would like to do that
Okay.
for the both of us if I can.
Yes. So you can only do that once per deep breath. So this is your use of that until you take a deep breath or get a full success on a travel roll.
Mhm.
But that does mean, Dr. Undermoon, you can take away that point of stress you would have had.
Oh,
And Dr. Daring,
okay,
you only
awesome.
take 1 point of stress instead of 2.
Yay, back at 6.
All right. Yep, that is still the same threshold that you were at. So you are now at the floor of this jungle, and you can see now more clearly with better context now that you are down amongst it. Everything is huge. This is as if you were traveling through the Amazon, but everything is twice or more larger than you would expect it to be. There are vibrant colors, pulsing lights, but even just what looks to be a fern of some kind is probably a good 12 feet tall. And you do hear the sound of movement around you, the call of various critters, animals, uh, rustling of branches and bushes and thickets, and you do catch movement in the distance. Nothing too terribly immediately alarming outside of just being here.
Mm-hmm.
And there are even collections of what look to be. Well, at first you think they're fireflies or something like that, but you're not sure if they have. You're not sure if they're swarms of bugs. It just looks like floating little balls of light in clusters here and there, just sort of floating and flitting fairy lights moving through the jungle. Look around, survey the area, look left into the humongous, multicolored vastness of this jungle. Look right, see much the same thing, and also that guy over there. And then look for. Wait, what? Never mind. And I think this is where we were going to take a break.
Oh no. Yeah, sure. Why not?
So,
New friends now. What's
yeah.
there to worry about?
So we have
Nothing
just
to
made
worry
it.
about at all.
That could very well be true.
I still have a D8 in my sway. I think we're fine.
Fine.
So, our scientists have just entered the particle grove, and we will continue our journey after a short break. We're gonna go take about 10 minutes or so, get up, do all the human weird eldritch paracausal things that we need to do to keep ourselves sane and corporeal, and we'll be back for some radioactive fun. See you in about 10 minutes, folks. Hello, we are back for the second half of tonight's episode at its core, our Substratum Protocol series. So, our two intrepid scientists here, Dr. Sabastian Undermoon and Dr. Daring, have made their way down into the particle grove, a good 3,800 kilometers, 3,800 kilometers into the earth, past all kinds of strangeness, and now find themselves in a gigantic megaflora radioactive jungle. large plants everywhere, vibrant colors, some luminescent, critters scurrying throughout, these strange sort of dancing fairy lights bobbing in clusters. And even, upon quickly surveying the area, a double take, as Dr. Undermoon could have swore he saw somebody.
Doctor, I don't believe we are alone here. And I'll kind of tap into my suit and see if I can get a quick scan of the area, see if there is any other life forms close by to us.
Okay. Well, that's actually a difficult task, really, because again, we don't have some sort of magical Star Trek life signs detector.
Unfortunately not, no.
And
It'd be more probably thermal than anything else.
unfortunately, the ambient radiation in the area is really playing havoc with a lot of sensors. Weird heat spikes, a lot of distortion. But you can tell through looking at this that a good number of the plants here seem to act as heat sinks, I guess, absorbers of some of the ambient radiation. It seems that wherever the radiation is coming from, a good number of these plants are actually converting much more dangerous neutron and gamma radiation into much safer alpha particle radiation.
Okay.
Which would not pass through the structure of your suit to cause any problems. The big danger is just simply getting too close to any of these plants and having to deal with the sort of ambient localized neutrino or gamma radiation. And who knows what any of these critters might, how they might complicate things. But there is a lot of noise, both sound noise and heat noise, distortion noise, making getting a full view of your area a bit more difficult than you can simply observe.
Does Dr.
Yeah.
Daring notice anything out of the ordinary? Or, I mean, like, humanoid-wise, or is it gone?
If there was something there, it doesn't seem to be there anymore.
Maybe I saw something that wasn't there. I mean, it's I guess it's entirely possible. We need to find the quickest route to get ourselves out of here before before something eats us, or before we become more, changed, as it were.
What do you mean?
Well, with the head and the fingers and the
You look totally
Maybe-
fine, Doctor. I don't think you're going through any sort of changes. And Dr. Daring, Dr. Daring will bring up the map that was given to them, and
all right.
Well, the map.
It's not worth that.
The map you use to navigate the maintenance tunnels. Once that led you to the hatch into this new sector, you do
It's
not
done.
have a map of the jungle. No.
Gotcha.
You could simply choose to travel and explore, trying to find the quickest route even deeper down, or you could take time to study the area. It's been a while, but the study of the area is just as important as continuing forward, because presumably this zone provides some sort of functionality, or is in some other way important.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess if we study the area, we might be able to discern maybe a pattern of which flora kind of tackles which kind of radiations, so that we could plot our way through, as it were. I'm happy to have a go at that.
What is the makeup of the quote-unquote skyline? Like, is it just normal rock? Do we notice anything strange about the sky, quote-unquote?
Well, it's difficult for you to really see the sky because the density of the...
Well, while we were coming down, we would be able to see it, no?
Oh, you were coming down, yeah. Well, basically, it looked like it opened up. I mean, there's a metal roof ceiling.
So everything is metal?
Well, the ceiling that you came down on, but you seem
Well,
to
yeah.
repel down into just open jungle. You do not see rock walls anywhere.
Huh. And it's just like never-ending, again, the only word I have for it is sky. Like, we don't see the roof while we were coming down.
Well, while you were above the treetop canopy, you can follow the curvature of that metallic ceiling, you know, until it dips down below the horizon.
All right. Well, let's see if I can. Much I do in terms of a good roll, because all the rolls I would want to do kind of low. I guess we're just gonna have to pick a direction and follow that for a while and explore as we go.
Yeah, I think we have to kind of like maybe do some science in this area. Take some soil samples. Get the drone to get some leaf cuttings, and really kind of understand where we are, and maybe build ourselves a picture as to what this place was maybe designed to do, or is a byproduct of.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely do that. I mean, with the sighting that was told to him, he's at least going to look for signs of civilization or
Yes.
man-made items or humanoid-made items, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Because we were informed that there are beings here, not just animals, right? The things that were before.
Yes, those who existed before.
Yeah. Not ominous at all.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100% normal. I'm thinking before I do that, I might take this opportunity to upgrade my suit.
Okay. Another suit upgrade.
I think you're going to be like 3 levels ahead of me at this point.
Well, I've got 11 cards, so I think it makes sense to turn them in, doesn't it? How many? Is it 8 to
Yes.
upgrade my suit? Yeah.
Costs 8 of them.
Okay, cool. So get rid of all my low ones to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 8. There we go. Just to do a bit of a tinker around with it. Try to calibrate it to get some new readings off of where we are, and hopefully that'll kind of get me some new information. But yes, upgrading my suit.
Okay. So you will gain an additional stress. Have to add that to the over. You reset all of your skills to their base maximum, and you can increase the max die of one of those skills by 1 step, up to a maximum of D12.
I would like to increase my dash to a D8, please.
Right.
Because we seem to do an awful lot of dashing. And I think you've got the sway kind of covered, so.
What I'm good at.
All right.
Yeah.
Noted. Let's see. Is there an easy way for me to do this very quickly? I don't think so, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right. So you can take some time to additionally calibrate your suit. You've taken a number of scientific readings your entire way down here and are able to further tweak some of the software, 3D print some additional plating, or change the composition.
Nice.
There we go. Okay. Okay.
At this point, I don't think his suit even looks like my suit anymore.
No. I see mine as more. I've kind of streamlined it. It's a bit sleeker than yours. It's almost, you're starting to see little parts of it have almost been bioengineered. So it's kind of parts of it look a little bit more organic than metallic in some way.
Very nice. Yeah. We'll say you can manage all of that. I imagine you take your first day here in this new area, just simply getting a lay of the immediate area you're at, doing some basic science just to make sure you're more or less safe, and then tinkering, and then simply relaxing, allowing yourself to stretch out after being cramped in, maintenance tunnels for too long.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
You can set up your sort of temporary airlocked tent, for lack of a better word, and actually be able to get out of your suit and eat something. And I imagine you just try to get back to normal for the first day.
Yep, absolutely.
But
whatever that means for Dr. Daring.
Right, yeah. Dr. Daring is far beyond normal at this point. So, what's the plan for moving forward, interacting with what I described? Or additionally, calling upon any of your suit systems to request or indeed dictate new information.
So I very much, my kind of plan was to, now that I'm kind of upgraded the suit, was to do a proper deep dive of the area. So soil samples, the whole kind of shebang, and try to work out what this actually is. Has it been built specifically, or is it a byproduct of something? So I want to try and understand what this actually is.
I'm trying to think of how you would go about determining if the jungle is a byproduct of something.
He looks at rocks, the old ones.
Yep.
All about rocks.
Okay. I think we can make this work. Well, that sounds like a think check.
Yay.
plus something
think,
else.
and well, my kind of thought is think and make, based on the fact that I'm probably going to have to maybe calibrate things slightly differently, or build some specific kind of I guess analysis equipment to help me understand.
Okay. Depending on any specific functionality or robustness you might want, that would be creating an item check. But I think for just general
Just general, yeah.
tweaking of parameters, and I think even with make is a good way to just go about things in a more deconstructive or reverse engineering sort of. I think that works.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
So that's a D10 and a D8. Right, what have we got?
We have a 7 of diamonds.
Okay.
And an ace of diamonds.
Okay.
Another freebie there.
So hopefully, right, let's start with the D8. So 5. Don't mess. Oh!
There we go. All right.
14 in total.
14 total. Go ahead and claim both of those cards.
Yes. Good stuff.
So, a rousing success there. Let's see. You can take some. I mean, I imagine both of you are sort of more or less moving in a direction, trying to just get information, explore the area, see what you can find.
Yeah.
Dr. Undermoon, you can soil samples. You can either yourself or send the Bebo Bop out to take foliage sample.
Yes.
Take some leaves, take some bark, take some branches, pick some flowers, and get a air quality assessment. Have your Bebo Bop roam around with the Geiger counter on, how things work. So, yeah, this confirms pretty much your original analysis. There are, you can tell pretty much every plant here is acting as some sort of radiation filter, let's say. And even digging down a bit and getting to the roots of some of these plants, you can see actually that when you dig to a certain depth, the Geiger counter spikes massively, and you have to very quickly move yourself away and hope you were not instantaneously exposed to lethal levels of radiation. But it seems that a good number of the plants here, especially the more robust ones, the giant trees, the very big ferns, the crazy mushrooms, have roots that extend quite down deeply as far as you can tell, using some sort of like ground penetrating radar system. It seems that something below is causing a ridiculous amount of a number of different types of radiation, and the soil and the roots here are absorbing that radiation, transferring it to these plants. That seems to take some sort of nourishment from that high level of radiation into much easier and safer alpha particles.
And is there any way of understanding, did somebody plant these, or were they a natural occurrence because there was so much radiation?
Well,
so is this a garden, or is it just a byproduct of all the radiation?
So I think this is a very interesting question for Dr. Undermoon, because it's been a month for us, but it's been, I mean, you had to travel through Jeffries tubes, but it's only been a little bit since your conversation with the custodian. So the idea of, is this natural or is it man-made, is skewed and confused now that you are having to come to terms with the fact that the entire planet seems to have been intelligently to some degree. But let's see. How about this? With that role, you can your knowledge of old rocks. What's the actual term?
Oh, it is. Hang on.
Geochronology.
Yes, I'm a geochronologist expert.
All right. Yes, you can use your geochronologist knowledge, and maybe even find a smaller tree that may have fallen over at some point. You can compare rings in that tree and dig down deep enough to see if there's differences in soil and differences, and maybe you can find some rock striations down there. This jungle is obviously quite old, and if the custodian is to be believed, it's mostly been left to its own devices for a long time. Now, what the custodian described, what he did actually tell you in a lot of vagary, seems to indicate that this was sort of the first layer on the cake that would become the Earth eventually. I mean, you are, as we said, almost 4,000 kilometers deep. So this looks, it's almost like this was the first Earth. And then that buffer zone run by the custodian, was created and everything else built up on top of it. So it is very likely that these plants, some, billion years ago, were intelligently planted, but the area has most likely grown and evolved based on this environment, for quite some time. Yeah. You do not see any indication that there is any sort of landscaping going on. No. You don't see anything that looks purposely trimmed or purposely planted. You don't see any sort of irrigation systems or
no.
And even Dr. Daring was also saying he was looking around for man-made objects or writing or anything, and you don't find anything. There's this. If you didn't know better and you couldn't see metal up where the sky would be, you could be mistaken for having some sort of hallucinogenic fever dream trekking through the Amazon. There's no indication man-made anything, really.
Speaking of which, probably pretty sure Dr. Daring has already had a fever walking. That's a different story entirely.
Yeah. Go down to the Amazon like a frog.
Yep.
Okay.
However, as the both of you are exploring this environment, you have those double takes where you swear just over there at the very peripheral of your vision, could have swore there was some humanoid looking figure. Oh, but by the time you double take and look specifically in that direction, there's no one there.
It's gone.
From my travels, I will say that if a group of peoples living in an area who knows the area much better than you wishes to speak, they will come out when they wanted us no longer around. We would have known by now.
Unless they are curious as to what we are and trying to decide what to do about us and haven't reached a conclusion as of yet.
True. think of what Dr. Daring at this point. Can I at least, so even if I go to an area where we think we saw these humanoids, I don't see any evidence that they were there. Broken underbrush, footprints.
Make me
Ooh.
some kind of roll. What would this be? Not really a perception check or anything.
Probably be think and
Thinking break, perhaps, looking specifically for how, the environment may have been trampled upon.
maybe. Which are both D4s for me right now, which is great. But I can take a breath, right?
Yeah, you can take a
Remind me
breath.
what that does again.
So that will automatically trigger a complication to the scene. But where are the deep breath rules? Thought I had this written down. So deep breath, that is up here. You reset all your skills to their maximum die.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, a deep breath is just taking a moment to reset your skills to maximum, but it does trigger a complication. It does not affect stress.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see the cards before I take a deep breath? Or not?
Yeah, you can do that. You could. Yeah, it says you can literally take a deep breath at any time, even in the middle of combat or a complication or whatever. So yeah, let's see what you're working with. You got a Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
That's already a rough one, and a 5 of clubs. A bit more manageable.
Then.
Okay.
All right, so that puts me at a D6 and a D6.
Okay.
You can't do it, can you?
No, not without a boost.
And I don't want to use cards. I need to upgrade. It's getting ridiculous. So the most I can get is the 5 and take 2 complications, basically, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right, so 2 D6s. Just got the second one. I just got the 5.
Yeah, because that's a 7.
Actually,
just
got the 5.
Just.
Flippin' heck.
So you can take that 5. Go over here. Okay. Okay.
I need cards. I just need cards at this point.
Yeah.
You can strike out on your own for a little bit. Not going too terribly far away, within shouting distance, certainly. Sort of trek over and see if you can find any evidence of somebody being in the places that you've seen them. You can carefully make your way over to one of such places. It's hard to tell exactly where they were, so you're going to have to spiral around for a little bit. But you can see, actually, it takes a little bit of time to find it, and you really have to look for it. And you're not sure if it's your new physiology, you're not sure if it's a level of intuition that you may be working with, or if your suit is in some way guiding you. But you do find just 2 indentations in the underbrush. I hesitate to call them boot prints because you don't see treads or anything, but you can see a depression that looks like somebody was standing there. You do not, however, see any sort of disruption of the underbrush or foliage in the area that would be indicative of them moving through it. It's as if
any markings on any trees or anything?
No.
Hmm.
You do, however, you clock this, you look around for those markings, then you turn around and there is, right in front of you, not a person. You don't see a person. You see almost I forget what they're called. The whole body suits that you can wear.
Whole body what suits?
Whole body like green screen suits, that they use, and you can make it. You basically see what looks to be a humanoid-sized, humanoid-shaped, glowing energy in front of you. And then another one just pops into existence. A number of them. It's hard to know exactly how many because you look over here and you see more, but then you don't see this ones, and you look back and there they are, but you don't see these ones anymore.
Was I able to parse at all some of the language of the entities we had just met?
The custodians? Yeah, you were.
Yes.
Yeah, you got their language. Yep.
I'm basically going to give as much of a respectful greeting in their language as possible, thinking that that would be the closest language they might know.
Okay.
I'd start with that at least.
Yeah. You speak a greeting in that language that you've more or less just learned. And in the couple seconds that you've been standing here, all of these entities have just been standing. You don't see a face, there's no eyes, there's no mouth. They're just sort of standing there. But as you make that greeting, they do almost in unison, not quite, but almost in unison, all turn their head to the ones at the left of them, turn their head to the ones at the right of them, look back at you, and the one directly in front of you leans in, almost directly up to the transparent titanium, I believe, dome of suit.
Do I think, am I currently in an area of high radiation?
It's a good question. Not dangerously high, but more than the ambient sort of background filtered out alpha particle.
So enough that if I do remove my helmet or at least make my visor come up, I'm not going to get any adverse effects for a few minutes.
Yeah, you should probably be fine. You might get some like minor first degree burns. You might get a little nauseous, but not fatal exposure, no.
As they lean in, I'm going to very slowly and gently lift the visor up to allow them to look at me unimpeded, I think is the word I was looking for.
As soon as the visor lifts, and there's even the slightest gap between the seal and the glass, they all sort of startle backwards. And
Oh, I
slowly-
actually expected the exact opposite. I thought it was going to rush into my suit.
they startle backwards and then slowly lean forward again.
I don't pull away. I stay completely.
Okay.
Okay.
The one in front of you is now leaning in almost, well, they don't have a nose, but almost nose to nose. And you get the sense how to put this.
Okay, well.
You get the sense that they are looking, they're not just looking at you, they're looking into you. But right up close to your face, you can see it actually tilts its head and looks down at all the different monitors and on the inside of the suit. Bends around your head. Stands up. And then walks into you.
That's what I was expecting, yeah.
Of course, that was
And
going to happen.
this faintly glowing entity just passes, not into you, but indeed your first expectation, into your suit.
Mhm.
Immediately, all the other ones around you aren't there anymore. And your suit is malfunctioning. There's lights going off, monitors, not dials, but like progress bars are moving up and down, switching in. Some of the servos in the assisted joints are firing and locking up.
I'm going to, as calmly as possible, without raising any alarms by any entity that might be watching, just because I don't want to get any more burns than I'm letting this happen. I just lowering the visor back down and standing and letting this thing do what it pleases for now.
Okay. You stand there and allow it to do whatever it is doing. The lights in your visor go dark, turn back on again, go dark, turn back on again. Various warning signals are coming up. Various elements of your HUD are flashing or turning off and on. Kind of jerkily moving. It is a very strange and uncomfortable to the point of almost mild for this suit to be moving, on its own. These motorized assisted joints that you have to allow you to move the very heavy, very solid suit, them moving without you expecting to, uncomfortable. But you stand there for a few minutes as it seems to, the best you can guess, who knows what this is, who they are, if they or are even appropriate words. But you think it's just trying to figure out the suit's systems. And it's slowly all of the distortions begin to correct themselves a little bit more. The jerkiness sort of subsides and gets a little bit more fluid.
In a strange way, Dr. Daring has already kind of gone through this by meeting with tribes in the middle of nowhere as they pull off his hat or pull at his buttons or mess with his backpack. So he's just seeing this as another version of that.
Okay.
And then you start walking.
Okay. I am going to. Is there a way for me to, without too much of a fuss, send a signal to Dr. Undermoon.
Yeah, you have your comms, assuming that they're working properly at the moment.
Yeah, even if it's just like static, like Morse code blinking, even just to be like, hey, pay attention.
Okay. Do you send a message or do you send Morse code?
I think that there's not much like even if I'm just opening and closing the comm, I think that would hopefully get his attention of what's happening, so that A, I don't have to say anything else, and B, if the words don't go through, at least there's something like a click, 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 click. At least it'll get his attention.
Okay. Well, actually, would these suits be voice activated? I mean, probably.
I would feel they would have a fail safe in case you can't speak for some reason. Some sort of manual ability somehow.
The difficulty with a manual ability is you have no right now.
Oh, so it's not just my feet, it's my arms as well?
Yeah, whatever this is has taken complete control of this suit. You are not strong enough to move this suit against the entity's will with the motorized joints reinforcing its function.
Right.
So you can't move your arm to press the comm. Though I assume that you guys, open comms at all times. I mean, unless you have a reason that you would specifically. But
I mean, to be fair, it would be Dr. Undermoon turning off his comms from Dr. Daring's inane prattlings and madness.
Yeah, it would. Yep.
So I think this is more on Tal than it is on the guy that is in a malfunctioning suit more than anything else.
I think we're in the kind of exploration phase of this place, so they would be open.
Okay, so yeah, then there would be some sort of, if they're able to get through, some sort of voice communication. Like, seems I have found the locals, and they are bringing me someplace.
Bring some place.
Can I check to see if the suit is putting out any unusual kind of readings or?
Yeah, you could probably remote into his diagnostics.
Yeah.
I mean, you. I mean, aside from the passive sensors that are always turned on unless you purposely turn them off, his microphones are recording, his thermal imaging is recording, Geiger counter is recording. He just sent out a radio signal to you. But other than that, I mean, the normal suit functionality is doing the suit functionality. However, running the diagnostic programs, you can see that there are minor disruptions and malfunctions in pretty much every system at this point. But no, it's not sending out any sort of it doesn't have a radiation generator that just suddenly popped into existence. It's not sending out, weird radio signals to somewhere else.
Cool. I guess maybe they're trying to be helpful. I'm more used to dealing with rocks than people. Now, what do you suggest? How should we proceed with this?
Just follow.
If you say so. At a respectful distance.
Okay. So following the leader through this radioactive jungle, you meander for a while, for hours, and Dr. Daring, you are. I do mean meander. You're just sort of snaking any which way. You'll move over in this direction and do like a 300-degree turn and head back the other direction. If there is a rhyme or reason to where this thing is going, it is a very weird route to do so. But
I'd let it go for quite a while before I attempt something.
okay. Yeah, we're talking hours.
Okay, probably within the the second or third hour, I would probably start trying to communicate again. See if I get some sort of reaction.
Okay, just trying to speak in this alien language to yourself.
I mean, if the alien language doesn't work, then I'd attempt the oldest languages I know, and just go through them each in various degrees, trying to elicit some sort of response from this individual or individuals.
Okay. As you are speaking, it does begin to. It continues to mimic what you are saying in various degrees of distortion.
Does the distortion get less if I continue in the same language? Like, am I getting the idea that it's trying to learn my language, or is it just mimicking?
How long are you continuing this?
I would say if I notice any particular interest in any specific sounds I'm making, I would stick to that language and just keep speaking that language.
So you're pretty good at communication. You're not sure if this thing is trying to learn your language or speak with you, or whether it is just mimicking the sounds, because it does mimic what you are saying regardless of what language you are using.
Yeah.
But as you continue to talk, it doesn't really matter which you use, it's just as you speak continuously, the distortion becomes less and less. Until after, time is wibbly wobbly here, but if you continue going about this for the next 3-4 hours, it can almost in real time say what you are saying.
Okay.
By that time, the movement of the suit is a lot more fluid. It's not jerky and zombie walking through the forest anymore. The HUD is much less staticky. You're not getting, warning beeps and klaxons anymore.
So in that case, I would probably stick to a language that I know the best, which I mean I know a lot of them, but I might even just at a certain point just stick to the alien language if I know it well enough, and just try to communicate the best I can through that language. Until like when I've noticed that the distortion gets down to minimal levels, I would start trying to ask it questions and see if there is a response.
Are you continuing to talk with your colleague here, Dr. Undermoon, at all during all of this, or
Only if he tries to communicate with me. Otherwise, no, because I don't want there to be any confusion about the language being used and who's speaking and whether or not they can even distinguish us as two different entities. We don't even know where they are in their understanding of us, so probably not.
Okay. So over the course of 3-4 hours, Dr. Undermoon. Okay. As you are following, though, We'll see if this changes any course of events.
Mhm.
But it's becoming that eerie feeling of being watched and that sensation of something right here at the edge of your peripheral is getting more and more frequent, Dr. Undermoon. You swear there are you're seeing something just over here, and then you turn and it's not there. But it's becoming more and more frequent. Dr. Daring, you are continuing to speak. You are asking questions, and it simply mimics those questions back at.
I think probably close to the 4th hour, if Dr. Daring has not figured out that they're going in a specified direction, and they're like it really is just meandering, I think Dr. Daring would attempt to now, instead of asking questions, stating to stop.
Okay.
Mm.
So you try to tell it to stop, and it stop, but it keeps going.
Okay. Then it's time for a roll.
Okay. What do you do?
I am going to attempt to restart my suit systems.
Okay.
A hard reset.
Okay. Let's see. Could you do a hard reset through voice control?
If it has an AI, I would suspect.
Yeah.
I mean, if not, then I'm assuming he could tell me and I could do it for him. But
Okay. So I don't think you need a roll immediately, but we may be moving towards one. You can just verbally instruct your AI to shut down the suit, restart the suit. And it does. It shuts down, everything goes dark, and then it boots back up. And it powers down to emergency power, actually, but it doesn't turn all the way off.
Mm.
All the lights go off, all the sensors go off, the motorized assisted joints go off. And at least from visuals, I mean, it looks like the suit powers off and then powers back on. But unlike an actual hard reset that would require you to, reconfigure things and the Windows whatever pops up and you have to go through all those next.
Do 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 do.
Yep. None of that happens. It just simply powers back on and continues doing what it's doing.
All right.
And then it stops. It takes a few steps forward as if it was continuing, just move as it was moving. And then it stops. And it raises your hand, twists it, and smacks against the glass visor. Transparent titanium visor.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls back a little bit.
Okay, that's not good.
Takes the other hand and seems to be moving your gauntlets. You can hear the scraping of your composite mitts against this transparent titanium, small scratches beginning to form. Dr. Undermoon, you see Dr. Daring just stop and start pawing at his visor.
No, wonder if I
Well,
could.
at that point, I'd call for a full system shutdown.
Okay. The suit starts to shut down. And then power cycles back on. You see, it shuts down in stages. It shuts down in stages, but by the time the last stage shuts down, the first is back on. It seems to be rolling through this shutdown and restart procedure. And every time the assisted joints turn off and lock up and then turn back on, it definitely harder this time.
I guess I'm going to have Tal do something to shut me down fully then from some sort of manual override.
Well, I guess I could maybe. Well, what if I overcharge the power on it?
That is a possibility, yeah.
See if we could perhaps, I don't know, do a short circuit and we determined the air is breathable at the moment, didn't we? You had your visor for a little.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay, let's see what we can do then. Start tinkering around and yeah, I'm going to try and send
Okay.
a super-powered electrical charge through his suit to disable it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
you know what you've asked me to do there.
I mean, basically, I think I imagine these things are powered by some sort of like miniature reactor.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Could it
this
just be
is a
removed from it? Is it something that could be just removed? Just like
the power source.
pull it out? Yeah.
Not easily, but it's doable.
Like an Iron Man kind of thing.
Yes. We seem to have we lost the eye?
Oh no.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh no, he's still here. Okay.
That's
Your camera turned
weird.
off. There you go.
There he is. Yeah.
Just because it messed with the overlay for a bit there. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it'd probably be safer to try and remove it rather than push a massive electrical current through and fry some of the circuits.
Okay.
It's kind of a delicate operation, so I don't know whether there's kind of like it's like a game of operation.
Yeah. All right. So this sounds like a
think and break.
I think think and break could work. I would also take both make and break.
Okay.
I'm going to go with think and break, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not like the delicate hand just to try and remove.
Yeah. All right.
So that is so I've got a D8 and a D4 to play with.
Got a 3 of diamonds. That's an easy one. And a 2 of diamonds. All right.
Okay, right. D8 D4.
I hate you, Tal. I'm done with this. I'm done.
It could still go wrong.
Yeah. Okay. You already did it. You already did it with your D4. Like, don't give me this. Don't try.
Okay.
I really was trying
Those
to
cards.
think of some way to give you an actionable roll there. The eye. Yeah, you've kind of been.
I would have appreciated it there. That's where I would have appreciated it.
Yeah,
With the 3 and the 2.
yeah.
I'm really sorry.
This yeah, these cards do not like you.
They don't like
No.
you.
Not at all.
Okay. Well,
You can see if you can see because I'm facing you, because I'm assuming it's like in front of the chest. You can see I've got that look of concentration on my face, and my tongue's out. I'm like
all right. Yeah, it does take some doing because I mean it's not really meant to be emergency ejected. So you have to take panels apart and then take layers of protective thing and whatnot. It takes a little bit of time. And it takes a little bit of time, but you are able to do this quickly that whatever is controlling this suit isn't able to do too much. It is still actively moving. It's still sort of pawing at the visor. Every now and then it takes a couple steps, turns around. So you're kind of having to be really careful where you are so that this very large and heavy suit doesn't step on you should it just decide to start doing stuff. But you can rummage around in there and pull out that miniature reactor, and the suit stops. Powers down. And then stepping out from the suit, almost into you, Dr. Undermoon, is that same sort of glowing, vaguely glowing humanoid shape. It doesn't seem to pay you any attention, really. Like, you have to throw yourself out of the way. Because if it recognized that you were a thing that existed, it didn't act like it.
he's insignificant.
Take another 2 stress. Even the energy beings don't care.
Yeah.
It does stop though. It really only takes like 2 steps out just to get out of the suit and just past you. And then it does stop. And it turns its head in a very a humanoid neck would not turn like that. It's like a full 90
Nice.
degrees.
Lovely.
And does actually turn back to look at you now, Dr. Undermoon. The rest of the body sort of pivots with it.
You trying to show me something? A direction? Something I should be aware of?
I don't even know if because at this point now, Dr. Daring is completely frozen in his suit.
Yeah.
No power behind a titanium glass thing. I don't think even if I shouted, Dr. Undermoon would hear me.
Nope.
So I'm kind of out of the scene right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, effectively. Okay. This glowing entity looks at you, leans in, very much like I had described for Dr. Daring, and then looks down at that object in your hand. Leans in down towards that.
I see. That's what you're interested in. What do our suits run on?
I don't know if it's specified in
Or a small fusion reactor of some sort.
something.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering whether or not it contains similar radiation to what some of the plants are putting on. That's why it's interested in this, because there's maybe a similar signature in terms of output, maybe, or it recognizes something within that.
Well, this miniature fusion reactor that powers that I believe I just made up. Obviously, it's radiation shielded because you are not being bombarded by the radiation of an exposed miniature sun. But presumably, and I am not a nuclear physicist, so I really can't speak to the accuracy.
Can you get on that, Jack? It's been long enough. Can you?
Yeah. I'll add.
How hard could it be?
Learning Sumerian to that as well, or no, you would imagine with your base understanding of nuclear, that likely, yes, the reactor is utilizing, byproducting similar radiation, but I mean, you don't know what this thing is or how it works or how it might sense its environment, but it shouldn't be emitting anything that would allow something that humanoid senses to pick up on the fact that it's a reactor.
Hang on. Just thinking back. Didn't we pick up an energy source previously that was like a mini...
You did.
Sun,
told
yeah.
us like a mini sun, didn't we?
Yeah.
Who is in possession of that? I'm assuming it's the Eye.
I would assume that as well.
Yeah. It's in, like a carry satchel at your side.
Yeah.
He ate it.
Right, so here's what I'm going to do then. I'm going to get my Bebop to rummage around in his pocket to try and find this miniature sun, and then just carry it maybe 5 foot out to see whether or not it attracts the attention of the creature.
Okay. You send your Bebop floating over to the satchel on the side of this, what is effectively an inert golem.
Yep. Wouldn't be the first time I called that.
And as it is rummaging through, Dr. Undermoon, you realize once again there's a faint glow over here. Faint glow over here. And then you turn and there is one right in front of you. In addition to the other one that is also sort of right in, there's now two right in front of you. But the Bebop can pull out in this miniature sun in a bottle, float it over. You can float it over, a few meters down that way.
Yeah, just to see whether or not they paying any attention to it and start to follow it.
It moves over in that direction, hovers there for a bit, and then a third one blinks into existence right next to the Bebop and is leaning in much the same way it was leaning you. Leans in, Yeah, leans in towards the Bee Boo Bob.
And then I'm just going to get it to move back another 5 feet, just to see if it draws any more out with it.
It goes to move, and the entity in front of it reaches out its arm, grabs it, and then seems to disappear into the Bee Boo Bob.
Yeah.
And it falls to the ground. Dun, 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 dun. Rolls a little bit. Twitches. Slowly starts to lifts off the ground a little bit and then drops back down. In much the same way you saw it interacting with your colleague's suit, it seems to be doing much the same with this, trying to figure out how it works. What, if anything, are you doing with Dr. Daring trapped in his...
Well, this is I was just thinking. I'm thinking that if it's taken over, my assumption is that these things want us to follow them, to communicate something in some way. If they've now got the bebop, then potentially that'll be easier for us to follow it because it'll just hover and we can just follow. So I'm going to attempt to restart Dr. Daring's suit by placing the generator back inside and starting him up again.
Okay.
Hell, you don't take any risks.
The two that are still in front of you, and you slowly skirt around them, start working on Dr. Daring's suit, and they do turn and lean in and just sort of watch you. And after a 10-15 minutes or so of re-tinkering, you slot the power core back in, and Dr. Daring, your suit boots up. Do-do-do-do.
The old AOL dial tone.
Yep. You're back to normal functionality. You have control of your limbs again.
Couldn't just put the sun in there, huh? Just couldn't do it. I would have done it for you. I would have done it for you.
I did think about it.
All right. Back to full functionality. I'm going to, for now, was I able to see what happened to the beep boop bop, or was it behind me?
No, you could see it.
Okay. Then I would probably just watch. So this thing's still just like jerking on the ground, I'm supposing.
It's managed to hover up a bit, but its movement is definitely erratic.
Okay. And we see two others watching us.
There are two directly. There are two pretty much side by side, sort of just back caddy corner to Undermoon's shoulder, watching the both of you. And actually, as soon as your suit turns back on, the lights turn on, you say something, you move a little bit. One of them, you're not sure which was the one that was in the suit or not, but one of them takes a sidestep. Doesn't even take a sidestep, just blinks and blinks right in front of you.
Dr. Daring looks slightly annoyed. And will trying to think what you would do in this situation. It does seem that they're curious. It seems like they're semi-intelligent, if not fully intelligent, sentient, perhaps. They don't seem like they have either the ability or the desire to communicate. These things are made of radiation and light, it seems, correct?
I mean, they're glowing.
Do I
You have
notice
sensors on your suit? What would your sensors
Yeah.
be telling you about these entities? They do seem to be a concentration of radiation. Yes.
More importantly, when I notice they look at each other, do I notice a change in their output of radiation? I'm wondering if they communicate through bursts of radiation and or light.
Ah.
So I think this could be well, See, ask a question about the scene. So, is there any indication that they are communicating? I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Then I'm kind of lost of where we go with that. I can't just figure out any specific way that they are communicating to us and or each other, either through sound or unperceptible light or radiation. What else could it be? Either they are unable to communicate, or they have some way of communicating that we do not understand. Psychically.
How do plants communicate?
Hormones. Well, their version of it.
Maybe they're linked to the plants. Because
Interesting.
I mean, what if it's possible that they are that? What if they are Dryad-esque, as in they are connected to a specific plant and are like caretakers of the plant? So, what if we tried to find a way of seeing if the hormones are being emitted or pheromones, whatever it is that plants do, see if that's how they're trying to communicate to us?
I don't know if we'd have any sort of ability to communicate to them via hormones.
Yeah, let me
I don't
actually,
think that's how.
let me put a pause right here.
Yeah.
Because
you make a good point.
my GM brain and my producer brain are telling two different things right now.
Yeah.
I think I lost the scene. Just gonna admit it. I think things have just taken a turn. That is one of the potential pitfalls of a prepless system that uses just random generator tables.
Yeah.
And it has been a while since we played this game, but I think we're not necessarily. I don't know if we're to its full effect, because this game is definitely a lot more of a player action first sort of game instead of a GM action player response sort of system. So I'm gonna make a minor change here. The entities that were watching you, Dr. Undermoon, they did in fact seem fairly intent on the power core. And also, the beep boop bop that was floating out, as it begins to lift itself off of the ground, it has this glass jar with a mini sun inside of it. One of the random malfunctions and sputtering causes that container to drop out of its little pincers and fall to the ground. And pretty much as soon as it loses contact with the pincher itself, that energy form steps out of the beep boop bop, and the big beep boop bop falls and stands there looking down at that container with the miniature sun. The other two watching you two. Would this change whether or not you put yourself, Dr. Daring? I'm gonna go a step further and say, looking at this, you are both scientists. You have a suit with a lot of sensors and a built-in AI. It seems and with Dr. Daring's question of is it communicating at all, you are detecting fluctuating magnetic field.
At least that's something to work off of. Okay. Yeah. And if I were to turn on some sort of sensor that watches magnetic fields, is there a connection between them? Like, how does that, and also, in order to follow up on Tal's engagement, is there also that coming from the trees? Is there some sort of connection between themselves with this magnetic field and the trees as well?
No, you don't see any sort of magnetic fluctuations or anything in regards to any of the plant life.
Okay.
But you do know that reactors do rely on quite powerful magnetic fields for containment.
Would I be able to produce a very powerful magnet with my 3D printer?
I mean, I imagine you could just create a super magnet. Just print out a magnet. Super magic.
Magnets are magic. It has been said.
How do they work?
No one knows.
Okay. Sorry, I lost. Was there a question or an action you were?
I wish to produce a very powerful magnet.
Yeah. You can. Is this something you want utilized in a specific way? Is this a card to flip off sort of thing, or?
I don't want to use cards. I really don't. I need to upgrade so badly.
I think you can, just to see what happens, you can just 3D print a magnet.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I don't know, what elements or whatever magnets. But you can print out fairly powerful magnet. Now, just a powerful magnet isn't going to be.
It's aluminum, nickel, and cobalt, apparently. So very basic elements.
Okay, yeah. So that will produce a magnetic field. It's not nearly anywhere near the strength of the magnetic field required for the reactor, but it is a powerful magnet. And yeah, as the 3D printer is sort of slowly printing it out atom by atom, the one who is not looking at the mini sun and the one that is not looking at the power core that was put back in you, the other one turns and is watching your suit 3D print this magnet.
Okay. Once it is completed, I am going to take it and put it close to this entity.
Okay.
And then punch him in the face. Magnet punch.
Okay. It does step back as you sort of move the magnet towards it, not necessarily in a recoil sort of way, but it was standing right in front of you. So you begin to move your hand out towards it, and it does seem to recognize, that movement and that it is there. It moves, takes a step back as you move your arm forward. Leans in down to it. Looks pretty much runs the length of your arm up to the visor and then down to your feet. And walks back into your suit.
God.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
And I think we can call it there on that dramatic cliffhanger.
Yes.
Because we are a little bit over, started a little late. And I worry this is getting away from me. Yeah, I
totally
think,
okay if you need to digest the scene.
Amazing.
Well, I think this game, from how I understand the rules, I think operates in a way that that is different from other games.
Very much so, yeah.
And I think it'll be interesting when we are done with this series to do like an after show sort of
Yes.
thoughts on the system, as well as just talking about the experience, the show, the game, because it's definitely not a game that you can play like D&D, because I have no idea what's going on. I don't know anything more than you do.
Yeah.
But this game really is supposed to function around the players say what they want to happen, and then they roll. And either it happens with a complication, it doesn't happen, or you use your exosuit to tell me to ask you a question, you may answer, or you use your cards to call back to the observatory, and then you ask me a question, I work with you to give you an answer. So I love the way that you are playing, and I love the questions that you're asking and the experimentation that you are doing. I just
It's a much different mechanic system than where any of us are used to. So I do understand that because I'm always as a person playing, I'm always in my mind bowing to the DM's knowledge in order to proceed, because that's how every other game works, right?
But,
so So in a game where even the DM doesn't know what the fuck is going on, or at least only has like, you know, bits and pieces to piece together, like you're exploring along with us.
Yep.
That's a completely different mindset to be going into a game with.
Yeah, and I'm waiting on you guys to lead me where you want to go, and you're waiting on me to lead you.
And we're doing the back to
very
you.
much so.
Yep.
But considering we haven't played in 4 or 5 weeks,
yes,
I think this was a fascinating episode, and it was genuinely a fun time. You know, getting to hang out with you guys again.
Absolutely.
Like I said, for the audience, we haven't really had much time to a month or so. So it is just nice getting back to it.
It is definitely 100%.
Okay, well, let's wrap up quickly because I can tell it is quite late where you are.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I am going to have a big think on of the to go, but I imagine we have 2, maybe 3 episodes until the end of this. Because we only have 2 more sectors to go to get to the big final question. What is this portal? So close to the end here, and it's going to continue to get weird.
That's how I like it. That's how it should be.
All right. Well, I will now defer to you guys to talk about what you have going on.
Well. Let's see. I am just about to put a video live. So if anybody can do, and it is my first hour playthrough of Grounded 2. Which I had a lot of fun playing, and as you can imagine, I died several times during my playthrough of it. I don't think it's 21.
Tutorials literally like pick up rock. Tal jumps off giant tree.
That's how it works, isn't it?
Pick up rock. Tal finds giant spider.
Well, I thought, there's a big ladybird here. I'm supposed to try and kill it. Apparently not.
No.
Apparently not.
No. See, you haven't played other survival games where you definitely don't do those things. Like in Ark, if you find a dino, you don't just go up and punch it.
So we've got a couple of gameplay videos available, along with our continuing breakdown of Baldur's Gate 3. We've also got the first hour of Wu Chang Fallen Feathers is on there as well. I died a lot on that one as well.
No.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, you can't believe it. I think that one was a record. And there'll be more of that to come. And I'm also going to be scheduling in a proper regular streaming session of playing some games once things have settled down a bit here and I know what I'm doing. But yeah, so look out for all the cool stuff that's over on the YouTube channel, and like and subscribe, and follow us across the social medias under Star Metal Production. Always greatly appreciated. That's me.
And for myself, I am trying to get myself to record these messages from the void that I have collected for your entertainment purposes. We will see how I'm able to get these going, and we will put them out as I get them out. That's basically where I am, all I can say at this point. Thank you for your patience if you are waiting for them.
Worth the wait. They're good stories. I'm looking forward to editing them and doing some sound design. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that is what we have going on in the immediate future. Yeah, we are also announcement of an announcement. The beginning of a running program here on Star Metal. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, all of that will be nailed down, and we can start having a second show per week, which will be real fun. And I've talked to a lot of in the casting for that show, so whoever we decide is going to be a fan for that. All right. I don't think he's waving at me. Okay.
Yes. Get the mic closer to your mouth.
Am I cutting
You're
out?
blanking out again.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
All right. Well, the gremlins have spoken. We're done. That's all I know. I am rambling at this point. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Tal, as Dr. Sebastian Undermoon, and the I, Dr. Sampson Daring.
A pleasure as always.
Go check out the social media. Go hang out on, catch up with this show and previous. Stay tuned for some more new fun shows on Star Metal Productions. Good night, folks. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Good night.